What's up, guys? Shouri here, and we're going back to phone. This episode is episode 3, and it's all about backup weapons. Last episode, we talked about sweep sniping, and this episode, we're going to talk more about our backup weapons. So, I'm going to start out using one of the easiest backup weapons, which is Porcupine, and another one, which is going to be like Chopper or Survivor, and those are much easier. And then we'll move on to things like Orion, and I'm just going to show you the difference between them and how to use them. So right here, we see the guy who has a little bit of damage. Our teammate ends up getting him. So what we're going to do is we're going to push up and wait for the next guys that come up. As soon as we kill them, we'll go for the hill and try to capture it. So we do end up going up and getting in a pretty good position to take the hill, but there's few too many. But luckily we spawn and bring our pork. We do end up getting the double with it. And that's one of the great things about having pork as a backup weapon is it does help you a lot in those kind of situations. Right here, we're going to bring out the chopper, and it's good for that medium to long range where your pork's not going to work. We end up getting both kills and going to the hill. I have no idea where I was getting hit from. It was obviously a sunburst, but I just wasn't seeing it. We do end up bringing out the pork and getting the close-up kill. But bringing out that chopper into that mid-range really helps. Right there, we just got a triple kill with it. And then we go on for the 4 at once, but he does hit Undying, so we don't end up getting it. But we do have a lot of kills, and we did pretty good, especially for who we were playing against. And it just shows you a lot that having that chopper in the mid to long range is good, and having the porcupine in that close range is also very good. It's a lot easier to use than things like Orion, and that's why for a lot of people it's going to be the best option. Um, but I'll show you for later in this episode about how using Orion could be really good. And these guys that we're playing are pretty good, so they're using rockets also, but that's fine. It's not like fours or anything, so rockets are fair game. I got some too, so it's no big deal. But we are going to end up using our crossbow, and we're using a really good power position that you can see from many angles and get as much as you can. So we're going to go to the side here and just try to do something different every time because you don't want them to be able to predict what you're doing. That's the worst case scenario is they know exactly what you're going to do because they can counter that a lot easier. But going to this side is something I have not done, so all of them are caught off guard in allowing me to get a triple kill. And then I go for the 4 at once, but I don't end up getting it. It was very close though. But we're going to keep going because we basically secured the victory right after we got that. It helped a lot. We had a really good teammate, and that always helps. 14 kills from him, but we had a lot of critical assists, so it all ends up being okay at the end. And again, we're using the porcupine as a backup. We throw a frost grenade so he has to choose to go to us, and we use the knife. Moving our knife button in the last episode was a really good idea. But we're going to keep going, and this is a little bit of long range for the pork. I should have switched to something like an assault rifle, but it just seemed easier to use the pork at the time. It ends up working out a little bit, but right here we need to be a little bit sneaky because we know there's two, and we do end up getting one, and we know there's going to be another one coming, but we got to make sure that we don't have a guy over there really screwing us over. And this is the guy that was coming the whole time. We end up getting him really low for our teammate with a grenade and a porcupine blast, which all it matters is that we got traded out, and that's going to hurt them a lot. We know there's a guy right there because we saw his gun. We do end up getting him with the pork, so we know exactly where he's at. We get him low, and we're just going to tag everyone, get everyone as low as possible for our teammates to go in there and kill him. And we're just going to make sure that we're cautious and get that last kill to get the game over. And a lot of that had to do with the pork letting me know that that guy was over there when I shot another guy. There's two guys there. I don't want anything to do with that, especially when we're that close to winning. So the best thing to do is stand back and wait for them. And it ended up working out beautifully. Up next, we're going to go into an orb game with our crossbow, try to get a first pick, see where they're all coming from, and just try to help our teammates out, get a little bit of a pick. We get one, get them low, and then we go for chopper, which helps us kill the Undying. The chopper is the best secondary weapon for Undying, and it's really good overall. Survivor's really good too, and I think Bastion might be the best. I didn't really do any Bastion at this point because I didn't even know Bastion was good at the point where I was making these kind of videos, and I'm trying to make everything go in a progression to where every single thing you see is done in order. So like all of these games happen basically back to back. Some of them like got deleted because I just did like 2 kills, but all these are in order, and that makes it to where that you guys can see the progression. We can progress together. But so Bastion's not in these. But here is one game that was insane. It literally is the game that showed me that, you know what, I can play phone just as good as iPad. And I've had some games besides this that has shown me basically the same thing, where I'm gotten 20 plus kills, and it's really good. So this one right here was just an insane game, and I had to show you. So we're gonna have a guy running up to us. We did end up hitting that other guy with our crossbow. We end up killing him with the chopper. And if I was a little bit more accurate with the chopper, I would have killed him too. I think if I would have had Orion, it would have actually killed him. Because Orion has one shot, so you do a ton of damage with one shot. And these assault rifles have to take a lot more shots to be able to kill someone. And it can end up hurting you a lot. That time, the chopper ended up getting him just low enough to where my frost grenade could kill him. And we're working really hard. One of my teammates is actually going for the hill, and one's camping with a Rochi, which hurts our team a lot. Luckily, I was able to snipe him in the head quickly and then throw a frost grenade to kill him. But we're going to have to speed up and do whatever we can to be able to kill this guy on the left. We're going to try something different than just going straight up the middle. But now that we know that the guy is going to come out the other building of the left, since we couldn't see him, we're going to kind of push up. We end up killing the first guy, and we're going to just look for more. We don't end up seeing him, and we just see they ended up going up the middle. And we're going to just look for the guy that we originally saw, and there he is. So we're going to wait for him while our teammates hopefully go for the hill, and just try to do what we can to make it easy as possible for our hill guys to be able to do anything. And sadly, our hill guys do end up dying, so we have to play a little cautious since we're really low and any hit will kill us. So we're just doing our best. We end up killing one. That guy goes invisible. We're going to let our teammate just chase him down. Nothing we can really do about that. And we do end up killing the guy on the right. So we have a ton of kills and a ton of points, but there is so much time to go, and we are losing. Luckily, our teammates did end up getting the hill, and we are sniping a lot. Just so you guys know, this is really early, and it's still in the first day of me playing phone in about 8 months. So I am playing a little bit more cautious than I should, and I should just be going out there and just slaying. But it is one of those things that you need a confidence boost, and it's very important that you get that. I'm doing my best, but there is a little bit of camping going on here, you could say, because I am. But that's why is I'm just not confident in anything but snipers right now. And the biggest thing is I've only been working on snipers at this point. And don't worry, one of the coming episodes is actually only bear trap, and then I'll have a rush episode pretty soon after that. So we're not only going to be sniping, it's just in order to get good, you need to work on things one at a time. And that's something very important that you guys should like think about is don't try to work on so many things at once. Just pick one thing and go with it. And then after you get that down, go for the next thing. And that way you can build everything in your arsenal and you don't have to worry about just kind of going for things that you're not getting. So that is definitely something to think about, guys. But the problem here is we are at 910, they're at 920, and they're rapidly taking the hill. This is very bad. But I cannot die here because I won't spawn in time to get there. So I just have to push out with 200 health and hope my teammates can get to the hill. My teammate does get to the hill, but he gets hit pretty hard with a headshot. So he has almost no health. The sad part is I have to push up and I get down to 200 health and I go all the way down to 24 health. I do help with my chopper, but if I died or any of my team dies, we lose because they had 999 points. So the fact that we lived and I had 24 health at one point, and luckily a health pill saved me, uh, it was quite close. So we got very lucky there, and I'm happy it went that way. It was great for everything, suspense, all the fun stuff. So, perfect. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go to Orion. This is more of the advanced portion of backup weapons because Orion is much harder to use because it's unlike any other gun. It's very hard to get used to, but if you take the time to try and get used to it, you will get it down, and it'll be like any other gun. It just takes time. So I honestly think that it's the most important backup weapon, especially with Barracuda. It's not nearly as important with something like this. Like crossbow can use an assault rifle, a porcupine, a joker. It doesn't matter so much. But Barracuda really benefits from having the backup weapon being Orion. Icebreaker and Quicksilver both very much so benefit from having the Orion. So if you like any of these guns, and honestly, there's just a ton of really good reasons to like Orion. Like, I think anyone should try it. It takes a few days to get used to it. I'm talking like a few days that you play like a few hours a day. So let's go ahead and say 10 hours worth of playing with Orion to get used to the fact of like, oh, I need to scope here, I need to not scope here, and you'll get it down. And I know 10 hours is a lot of time to waste. I don't like wasting 10 hours either, especially because it's very frustrating to have a gun that like doesn't work right. But it'll start to work right, and then once you get it, you kind of realize like, oh, okay, cool, it's gonna work fine, and you're more and more likely to like it. And then I just make the worst like choices right there. I go super hard and super bad. So like those were my unstoppables, and I'm going around trying to get unstoppable. I only needed one kill, and of course I get stopped by the hair guy. Good game, I guess. Whatever. Like I was just so disappointed in myself because I missed those shots on those easy kills and just completely screwed myself. But it doesn't matter. We end up winning the game. I'm happy with it. And having that backup weapon being the Orion is just so important, and it helps you so much. But we're going to move on to another game with the Orion as well. And we'll have one more after this, and I'll show you exactly how much progress we made over the first 24 hours. And this is the last footage of the first 24 hours. So after this episode, it is all after that. And we are in a spot that is kind of like not great. My two teammates are over there with no health. I have full health, and no one really knows I'm here. I'm just making sure that anyone who comes through this door gets tagged so they can't come around and shoot my teammates in the back. But now they all know I'm here, it's not going to work out. Luckily, we do respawn, and my whole team's here. I mean, it's not really luck because we all died together, so that's not great, I guess. But at least we're all together, right? So we do end up getting a kill there, and we have another kill here, and it's just an easy double. So we're going to go ahead and get it. Final boss, doing a great job. Reborn, one of the better clans in EU. Always happy to play him. It's always a good game. And we're going to go through the middle and try to get the guy, but we realize that's a lost cause. We're going to go over here to try to give our teammates some support. And a lot of their team basically thought the same thing. So now it's just a super left fight. Luckily, I'm able to kill two of them, and I go for the third. It doesn't end up working out, but again, we're doing our best here. It's all what we can do, right? So we do end up getting that headshot. I poke through for the body shot. I'm not going to be worried about getting the headshot or body shot because Merciless is basically the same thing. And what's important there is just to get a quick and dirty kill, get out, and we're good. That's exactly what happened. I'm happy with it, and we didn't die. That's the main thing. Luckily, we are able to get another kill there, and we do see some guys in the middle. We get a really good 540 headshot. Our teammate gets a critical assist on it. I accidentally hit the menu button. That is one downside to playing the claw this way, is that menu button sucks. Nothing you can do about it. It doesn't happen too often, but sometimes you're gonna hit it. I mean, it's up there by the scope. What you gonna do, right? Um, so just something to be aware of. And don't worry, we will be having a video where I show you guys how to hold the phone exactly with hand cam, and I'm going to show you with 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers, and a 3-finger hybrid claw, which is what I prefer because I have an autoimmune condition, which makes my joints swell when I put stress on them, and the 3-finger hybrid claw makes my hands feel better. So, and I also think it's a lot easier for people to do 3-finger, especially if they're going from just thumbs, which most people do play with thumbs only. A lot of the top players obviously will play with claw, but most players don't. I do think that you guys should go to at least 3-finger, and I'll teach you how to transition. Um, and I'll also teach you ways to just play as having 2-finger. I don't care what you do. Most of you aren't going to listen to the 3-finger advice, so we'll do that. But so far, the Orion's done a little bit for me, but it could be doing a lot better. But to be honest, I was sitting here just trying to stand where there's so many walls in front of me from every direction because I know their team's going to just rocket the crap out of me this entire game because that's all they ever do. It's so annoying. But I get it. It's whatever. It doesn't matter. I just know exactly what's going to come, so I'm not a fan. And so I'm going to stand where that guy can't see me unless I want him to. Unless I can shoot him, he shouldn't be able to see me. So I'm going to stand basically in every blind spot I can find. Luckily, we do end up getting some assists. Our teammates do all that they can, and we actually are approaching the lead, which isn't a small thing. They still have that sniper that's camping up there. I'm going to try to take him out for our team, but I end up getting a guy that's going for the hill instead. That one ends up missing, and that was just my problem. But we weren't using guided access like we should have been. All iOS people need to have this guided access on. But now we won't accidentally slide out into any other apps, so that's good. We do get a really nice headshot there, and we realize we're not getting the headshot here, so we switch really quickly and hit that Orion perfectly. We hit a nice headshot there. We go straight for the Orion, and I am thinking right here, thank God, a 4 at once. This can help cap off my night and get that first 24 hours video to be great, and then I get a 5 at once. I couldn't believe it. Luckily, this was the last phone game I played in the first 24 hours, so I went to bed after this game. I was so happy with it because, like, finally, the first 24 hours video has a good thing to, like, cap it off, right? So I just went to bed immediately. And I switched rockets at the very end because I didn't want my teammates to lose. I wanted to kind of play the moral high ground. It was weird how that guy just seemed to lay down there, but whatever. I don't care. I think we were on EU host because I played EU host on all these. It's easier at night to play EU host instead of getting NA squads, but we lose just barely. And it's all good though. I don't really care. I was so happy to get the 5 at once. I literally didn't care. We lost by 6 points. We got rocketed for most of that game, and we almost won. So great job, Battle Rattle. Great job, Jamasulu and Dodge. I'm happy with it. Like, we fought a great game. We played it mostly clean. I'm cool with losing by 6. I mean, we got a victory there, right? Like, come on, let's be real. So, I'm happy with it. And guys, your backup weapons are important. I think that you should use Orion if you're good with it. If you're not good with it, I think you should give it a real chance, guys. Play and do bad for 10 hours with it. Like, it's not that bad. It's especially when you think about how much you play this game. If you're a power user, then I definitely think you should invest that little bit of time into getting used to the mechanics of the Orion and getting used to being good at it. And it'll help you so much. It really will. And make sure that you do it in like the brawl. A lot of the time, if you do it in a brawl or an event, when things reset, you will be so much better off, especially since your trophies are 30,000. You will play only players at 30,000 trophies, which is the worst. Your ranked trophies, that is what determines the people you play in Brawl. So you will play only the lowest trophy people in the Brawl, and that will help you be able to use the gun and make some mistakes, but get it down and then slowly get better over time. And you can actually get better that way instead of playing just killers in ranked matchmaking and just not ever really getting better. I totally recommend you doing it in a brawl or an event that lets you choose your weapons and just trying Orion, just going for it over and over again. You don't even have to use other weapons. Like, you don't have to switch to it like I was doing there. That's something I'm already good with it on another device, so it's easy for me to kind of get used to that. You might want to go into a brawl or an event, and this is super important, guys. Make sure you have 30,000 trophies. Do it right after the trophies reset, and hopefully there will be like a brawl or an event that you can choose your weapons. I promise you, it is the best thing for you to learn a new weapon of any kind, especially if it has new mechanics. So definitely do that, and I think you'll really improve your game. But if you don't want to do that, or you do that and you don't feel that you're good enough with Orion, you can use Chopper, Survivor. They're very good. I ended up learning later on, and I'll make an entire episode on this later on for Bastion being by far the best. But Bastion's also high skill. You're gonna have to hit headshots 100% of the time with it, or it's not worth using. So Bastion's also like Orion. It's a high skill gun, but it's so good. Um, but for everyone that's like not the best, I would recommend using Survivor and Chopper. They're easy to use. They'll work every time. Go for that. And then something like a Porcupine and Joker as a backup shotgun. They're the easiest things to use, and they do a lot of damage, and they're just really good guns. And they're not hard like Orion. Orion, you need a lot of practice, and you need to be good with it. So I recommend if you're not very good with the Orion after trying all the practice and doing what you can, it's definitely easier to use the Chopper, Survivor, Porcupine, or Joker. And it's okay if you're not good with Orion. Not everyone is going to be good with it, so don't worry if you're not good with it. A lot of people aren't. But I do recommend you try it if you can. If you can't, you now know of some other easier options, and I really recommend you guys think about your backup weapons a lot more. And we will have Rush episode next, and then whenever my hand heals, we will do a hand cam for 2 finger, 3 finger, 4 finger, and what I like to use, which I call a 3-4 finger hybrid claw for phone, which is a lot less bad on the hands, and then we'll be able to see stuff. So it'll be great. All right, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this helps them. See ya.